Hello, my name is Xandar Blankenship, and this is my Better Me, Better World project. My project is bettering through singing and counseling. To start off, I listed some goals, and my main overall SMART goal was to be more confident through learning how to sing and attending counseling, which was for mostly emotional care. It was to work on my confidence and to better myself with my emotions. My sub goals was to become a better singer. That was through physical development, through different exercises and stretching we would do to get warmed up, and then intellectual pursuits, learning how the voice worked, learning how you can make yourself and get better at singing, because whenever I was younger, I struggled a lot with my voice. I struggled with some speech impediments, so it always fascinated me to learn more about it. And then another sub goal that I had was to better my relationships with family and friends. This was my service to others because if I could show up better as myself, I could also show up better for them and help them through things, and for ethics because I'm all the time encouraging people to seek help and to better themselves. And so this way I could show that I was trying to better myself as well. So that way it would hopefully encourage them to do the same. Next were some leadership skills and some milestones that I was able to achieve with this project. So after I completed the project, I attended voice lessons for once a week for the duration of the project. And then I also went to counseling, which I struggled with in the beginning, trying to find a counselor that would take my insurance. So that changed some things. And I ended up having to find one through my university, which they were able to go and get me set up with a trained professional there. And I was able to start attending every other week with my school counselor. And throughout the duration of this project, then I was able to learn how to control my anxiety so that way I could show up better for work and for school. And I was also able to build confidence in my singing skills and my overall ability in daily tasks. I was also able to develop some leadership skills, such as communication, and I developed that through opening up to others, like my counselor, or sharing some different, more personal things with my vocal coach, so that way we could get better at singing. And then I also learned how to work well with others. With my vocal coach, she wanted it to be set up as more of a collaboration rather than a teacher student setting. So I learned how to add in some input and give some feedback with that, as well as receive feedback with the counseling sessions. I was also able to learn leadership skills such as empathy, not only for others, but for myself. Learning not to be too overly critical with myself or beat myself up whenever I fail, and to be able to give others feedback and be able to relate to others and that feeling that they could feel whenever someone gives them feedback, such as being too harsh on themselves or feeling like they failed. So I was able to learn some empathy skills and how to give and receive feedback on both ends. Next, here is some evidence from my project. The first slide, we have the vocal lessons recaps. So after every session, she would send a recap of everything we did, as well as some things to work on for the next week. In the middle are some actual photos of me doing my vocal lessons. I was able to do them through Zoom. There was no one nearby originally where I lived, so I had to do it with Zoom, but this worked out really well with my school and work schedule. Here was a time we did them in my car. We did do two sessions in my car due to time and I wasn't able to get home, but majority of them we did whenever I was home. And then the last slide are some confirmation appointments for the counseling center. And then Here we have where I was able to utilize Zoom and accomplish these singing goals, and as well as using sources from my college to connect with my counselor. And then for my overall analysis and advice from the project, I would describe this as hashtag confidence because that was the thing that I took away the most from this project. And I decided to use the SWOT analysis to analyze my project. So the singing lessons were outside of my comfort zone, and the counseling allowed me to open up to someone new. All of these helped to improve my confidence. And to analyze this project, my strengths was being able to use the internet and my dedication to complete these goals. My weaknesses was my ability to receive feedback, especially in the beginning, and then to work outside of sessions. So I would do great whenever I was in the sessions and attending them, but then continuing the progress and the work once I left those sessions until the next time we met. Some opportunities I had and some things I would do differently next time would be maybe find something more in person and easier to work with school schedules. I would like to be able to find a vocal teacher that is connected with my school, kind of like the counseling. That way I could have it all at the same place and it would be easier to accomplish. And then some of the threats I had was time and money. So it was costly with the counseling, but with my university, I could do it for free. And then time was another thing, trying to do school, work, and this project all at once, which is why I'm trying to locate it all at the school. But overall, I really enjoyed this project and I'm hoping to be able to continue it well into the future and really improve in both of these areas. Thank you.